Hello everybody, welcome to another episode with Broke Girls Art School. This episode is going to be part 2 of my 3-part self-care for artists series. In the first episode, I went over different techniques for your hand, wrist, and forearm health. In this episode, I'm going to be going over some different yoga stretches and things that I like to do to maintain my back. I tend to have a lot of lower back pain, but I'll also go over some stuff for stretching out the traps and neck. In the following video, I will be going over more mental health stuff. So I'll be talking about different meditation techniques and things that I like to do to get myself centered if I'm ever feeling overwhelmed, because you want to make sure you're putting out your best work always. So don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you want to see my future content, and if you would like to check out my Instagram pages for my wood burning and craft stuff is at burnblueart, and for my Instagram for my tattoo stuff is at skyblues tattoos. So let's get started. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be touching on some back pain. I'm going to start with the lower back because honestly, sitting down all day, that's where I have the most of my issues personally. I do also hold quite a bit of tension up in my traps and my neck, so we'll get to that a little bit later. But first I'm going to go over some different things that I have found have been helping my lower back a ton. So this first thing was actually something that my chiropractor had also shared with me, and it has been helping me out so much. He pointed out that, when you're sitting down all day and your leg is in this position, these muscles and your hip flexors are constantly shortened. So when you go to stand back up, that's pulling more on the muscles in your lower back because these haven't been stretched properly. So first I'm going to go over a couple stretches to really focus on these areas. The first one, it's like a variation of the warrior pose. I forget all the yoga names, but this is like a warrior something, I think. But this stretch right here, especially if you reach to the ceiling, because you're getting this whole side body stretch. So I'll sit here for sometimes 10-15 breaths and just really let this sink in, let gravity do its work. This is also a really good quad workout for your forward-facing leg. So I'll do these for a while, and then I'll rotate out my left foot, or whichever foot is back, and then lean forward. And for this exercise, you want to make sure that you are flexing your core and not putting extra pressure on your sides or your back. So my core is always flexed, and then this bottom hand can kind of rest on the inside of your calf, and then reach for the ceiling. And then you can go back to this position. And again, guys, just do what feels good. Sometimes I just make stuff up and I just try to listen to my body and figure out what's best for me. So again, you want to be even on both sides. Oh, these stretches really do feel great though, I'm not lying, guys. And then you'd even out over here. All right, and the next stretch worth noting that is another favorite of mine is just your basic downward dog. So when you're doing down dog, you want to try to suck in your stomach to the tops of your thighs. And when you first initially get into this stretch, it's all right to bend your knees a little bit, especially if you're not too flexible yet and you need to work on your hamstrings. Have a generous bend in your knees, work your way into it. Eventually you'll be able to be flat-footed like I am here, and it doesn't affect me too much. But yeah, I'll try to suck in my stomach to the tops of my thighs. You can walk the dog by pumping the backs of your heels. It's a little bit more of an active stretch. And then another thing that I like to do is lifting your legs up in the air like this. Gives you a great stretch throughout that whole side body. And deep breathing is very important, you guys. Oh, you can go ahead and bend the leg too, whatever feels good for you. The next stretch I'm going to show you is called the pigeon stretch. So here, pull your leg forward in kind of an L position. Again, guys, if you're new to yoga, don't overdo it. There's hundreds of thousands of beginner YouTube video or beginner yoga videos on YouTube. So watch some of those. Ease your way in, don't get discouraged. But here, you can either do the pigeon sitting up like this, or you can fold over your legs. And again, guys, I'm just kind of rushing through everything so you can see, but I will sit in these positions sometimes for 5 minutes each just to really let my muscles sink in and get a proper deep stretch, all right? And eventually you'll be able to do stuff like this. All right, so I'm kind of backed up close to my dresser here because I wanted you guys to be able to see the whole picture. So I'm not gonna do both sides for all of these stretches. But yeah, usually after pigeon stretch, then I'll kind of get into like spinal twists. Spinal twists and like just keeping your spine flexible are extremely important, especially when you're sitting like this all day. You need to counteract that. And one of the best stretches you can do is putting your hips forward and just, yeah, like I said, because your spine's like this all day, so you need a little bit of time for it to go the opposite direction, right? All right, so another good spinal twist stretch. So you take your right arm and then thread it through. It's called thread the needle. And you want to make sure you keep your hips above your knees. And then I will just sit and soak in this position. Like I said, sit here as long as you feel. So I'll do that on both sides. As I said, I can't really do it here. And then another really great spinal twisting stretch. Move this stuff out of the way. So you can lay back like this, have your arms out like in a T formation, and then you scoot your hips to the right of the mat, cross your right leg over your left leg, and then let your hips fall. And you want to keep both of your shoulders pinned to the ground while in this position, because you'll feel that twist in the center of your spine. It is just phenomenal. And again, guys, I encourage you to breathe very deeply, because the more you inhale, you'll feel the stretch differently in your muscles. It really adds another element to the experience. So after I do that on both sides, another stretch that's really good. Well, first, actually, one other thing. Just rocking back and forth like this can be a great way to massage up and down the spine. So I'll do these, rocking back and forth a bit, and then you can also just sit here and rock back and forth. And this one feels really good, like just all along my lower back. I can just using the ground to massage my back for me. Another one is called Happy Baby, where you could grab your toes and rock back and forth like this. And then, the next pose I want to show you guys, well, two poses, is Baby Cobra and Cobra. So again, this stretch is great for getting your spine to stretch in an opposite direction. So for Baby Cobra, you're going to want to put your forearms on the ground like this. I like to look up to the ceiling so I'm getting a full neck stretch as well. So I'll stay here for a few breaths. And then I like to pop back into child's pose. And I'll sit in this position for a little bit. And then I'll come back up, lay down. And then this is gonna be full Cobra. And for these ones, guys, I always recommend like pushing your feet into the ground. Like you wanna have most of your body activated so you can get the most out of your time and the most out of your stretches. So my feet are pressing into the ground and I'm pushing up This stretch is amazing. And I swear you guys, if you do yoga every day, within 2 weeks, you'll feel like you have a different body. It's insane. So after I sit here for a while, I'll usually pop back into child's pose for a few deep breaths. And this is usually where my spine cracks a million times. Another good one is just your basic cat and cow. So you want to inhale, arch your back, and shove your ears in between your arms, and then on your exhale, arch your back, look up towards the ceiling. And this is a good one to flow with your breath. So on the inhale and exhale, you'll move. And you can pop back into down dog. Like I said, guys, whatever feels good for you, but don't push yourself past your limits. Like if you're feeling any sort of pain, then just stop what you're doing. You're going too fast. So another thing that I recently just invested in, which relates back to the whole spine issue of always being like this and never counter stretching, I bought one of these. I'll tag a link in the description box for all of this stuff. But so this goes on different levels and you can adjust the arc, and then you just lay on this for anywhere from like 5 to 20 minutes, and it, oh my God, it just feels so good. And if you're having a really bad back pain day, you could even try putting a heating pad on top of this while you're doing the stretch. Either way, it feels great. So this guy, put it right under your lower back, and then just kind of melt into it. And the nice thing about this is there's different levels. So like if this is the most intense setting on it. So if this was too much for you, then you could make it a lesser arc until you worked your way into it. If you don't have one of these and you don't want to buy one, then yoga blocks can usually do the trick. I just like this a little bit better for that stretch because it fits the shape of my spine and feels a bit more natural. But another thing you can do with the yoga blocks is you kind of set them in like a T shape going down your spine and then underneath your head. So I'll show you here. All right. So that is laying right underneath my spine. And this back block, you could either have the same height, or you could lay the block flat and get a little bit of more stretch in your neck and adjust it until it feels comfortable. And this is another one, you'll feel a wonderful stretch in your chest up here. So I'll sit here for a while. This is like when I like to get my meditation in and like these kind of poses because they're very relaxing, but I'm still feeling a really nice stretch. So yeah, I'll just sit here and let go of my day and try to relax. But this stretch also feels wonderful on the back. And like I said, if you're doing art multiple hours a day, then you really can't get enough of these stretches. And yeah, you can use this guy as well. I put this on my lower back all the time. So I'll just kind of go around the sacrum here and just kind of do like circular motions. I'll do that on both sides. Another thing that's really important for low back health is keeping your glutes nice and stretched and mobile. So I also recommend going like up the side. Your glutes kind of run in this direction. So I just recommend following that with the massage gun. But yeah, the pigeon stretch is another great one that you'll really feel in your glutes. But the great thing about yoga and that your body is that everything is connected. So if you're doing something that's going to be benefiting one area of your body, it's going to be benefiting the rest of your body as well. All right, guys, so now I'm going to go over some different stretches that are good for your upper back and like your traps and just along your spine, everything. One stretch that I really like a lot is super simple. I'll just sit straight up, legs flexed in front of me, and I'll kind of bow my head forward and just slightly lean forward. And I will feel that go all the way down my spine.
like to sit here for a little bit. I can just do a forward fold, but I feel like if I just kind of sit in these positions, then I can stretch different areas of my back. Another thing is just more twists. So I'm sitting up like this. You could be with your legs straight or crossed like this. And then it's really important to keep the chest square and open, sorry. And I usually like when I'm doing deep breathing, I'll inhale for like 5 or 6 seconds and then just exhale as long as I can. And yeah, again, really deep breathing, you'll feel these stretches expand your body even more. All right, guys, and then stretching your neck is also very important. So you can add a little bit of intensity by like putting your opposite hand on the top of your head and then just kind of pulling down. I recommend going more to the side than going forward. Because honestly, the better stretches for your neck are when you're looking back. Again, since we're already have our heads forward all day. So like this here, leaning off to the side, I feel this all the way down my trap. You can even extend this arm if you want to make it a little bit more intense. And I think when you're taking time for yourself, it's so important to just check in with your body and listen to your body. You know, if something's pinched or if something's hurting, like it's for a reason. So you should be trying to do things to fix it or help prevent, you know, more pain in your future, right? Because I know so many people that just, you know, they'll let the knots in their neck or their back just get worse and worse and worse, and then, you know, I'd go to give them a massage and it's like they have rocks in their in their muscles or something. Yeah, these stretches are wonderful. So another thing you can do with self-massage, show you guys. So again, I'll just take my coconut oil, just a little bit, and then my traps hold so much tension, so I like to just, even just going back and forth, following the muscle. Oh, it feels great. So you're gonna wanna do that on both sides. You could do the squeezes as well. I mean, pretty much anything on the traps feels great. But yeah, while you're massaging, say like right now I'm massaging my left side, I'm gonna wanna lean my head to the right to intensify that stretch. And another thing you could do, like say your head's straight up, put pressure on the muscle and then flex it. Oh, and it'll make it sit in a bit more for you, that's for sure. You can take that and continue it up the sides of your neck as well. Again, guys, even if you don't know much about the body, just note that everything is connected. So I'll follow this whole line down from the end of my trap up to the base of my neck. And then you're gonna wanna do that on both sides. So then I would sit over here, same thing. It's just so important to take time for ourselves, and, you know, doing even just during my yoga practices or self-massage like this, like I just try to clear my mind a little bit, be completely present in the moment, and like I said, just listen to my body, and all the stuff that I need to worry about is going to be there in another 15 minutes, so. All right, so yeah, I already feel great. Another thing you can do, which is nice if you have a partner to do like this kind of massage, but you can go up the back of your neck and go from the base and then drag your fingers up to the top of your neck. Forgot to take my necklaces off.
But so I'm going to start at the base of my neck and drag my fingers all the way up the back. And then until you get to these little notches that are kind of like at the base of your skull. That's like your occipital, I forget all the terminology, but you'll feel it. They're like two little bumps kind of right underneath your skull here. Ooh. And even just applying pressure there feels wonderful. So again, you want to start at the base of the neck and work your way up. Another important thing to note when getting a massage or giving a massage, you don't want to put pressure on the spine. So like say I asked my boyfriend to grab the massage gun. Like you don't want anybody going down the center of your spine. Whether it's just massaging with your hand, with the massage gun, you want to go up on either side. Whoop. It's kind of hard to do to myself in this position. So you guys can get the idea. Go up and down the trap. See, I'm slightly off to the left of my spine when I'm going down the trap. And I'll grab my other hand. And the same applies even on your lower back as well. You don't want any pressure directly on your spine. You want to go on either side. So yeah, this you can also do just up and down the trap. And again, it's nicer if you can have somebody do it for you, but you know, even if you're home alone, you can still have this thing do some good for you. All right, guys, so that is going to wrap up episode number 2 of my 3-part Self-Care for Artists series. So if you guys want to check out my other videos, the first one was on hand, forearm, and wrist care, so I will tag links for that, and the third one, which is about mental health, in the description box below. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to see some future content, and make sure to drop a comment. Let me know what you guys thought about this video, and smash that like button if you enjoyed it.